back. They have won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's tough enough to win one. We've done two, so you might as well go for three, right?
Our time, baby, back to back. That's how we do it.
What do you think of this team?
Unbelievable. Nobody can beat us. Back to back years.
It's so much fun to be a part of. The crowd can have an effect on teams. The emotions get turned up.
And then last year, they gave Vezina to somebody else. Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to We the Thunder, your only pregame show with a massive amount of thunder and lightning sound effects.
Ka-chow.
All right, so here we are. Tuesday night, we got our second ever pregame show. We're going to have JP Peterson join us in about 15 minutes. So he's going to talk about the Bolts, his gig there, and we're gonna go a little sidetracked and talk about what he's doing with the Rays, or actually he's not doing it with the Rays, he's doing it for Rays fans. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're gonna break down tonight's game. We're gonna talk about the games from this past week. We went 2-0 since we were last doing this podcast / show, and we've got a trivia challenge. So for anyone that wants to join the trivia challenge, it won't be now. It will be more towards the end of the show after JP jumps on. But if you want to join us, let me put the banner up there right now. We're giving out some Letty swag, your choice. I'll grab some of it. I got a box of it over here. I'll grab some of it so you can take a look while the boys are talking. But we're going to do a live trivia tonight. The first 10 people are in. We've already got one person in. All you've got to do is go to kahoot.it on your phone, computer, and then there's a game pin right there at the bottom. So we'll put that at the bottom and let it scroll. Again, first 10 people are in. Somebody's going to win some big rig Letty gear. So go join the game there, and we're going to talk about hockey. Stash.
Are we?
Where do you want to start? We've got kind of, some news to go over. We've got a game to go over. We got JP jumping on. What do you want to get to first?
First and foremost, I got to talk about our captain, man. He won the vote. He's in. The captain, deservedly so, left it to whatever means he made it, but El Capitan.
I think this is a
seventh All-Star appearance.
Big credit for the Thunder here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're up against some major fan bases. I think if you looked at kind of the stat line that they put up there for all the players, he was the freaking obvious choice.
By far.
So hopefully other NHL fans kind of jumped on that, but I think this is a win for the Thunder for getting him in. So way to go, everyone. We'll give you that one more round of applause. Got the captain in.
Even he said it was a pleasant surprise. He didn't expect to get it over such a small market compared to the bigger market guys he was against.
Yeah,
but
and it was
being
cool.
the first time as a father and having a 2-year-old that he's going to take with him, he said is unbelievable, and it's going to be a great experience to take his son to it.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, that was definitely the biggest news of the day. That came down this morning, right?
Yeah,
they announced the winners. Yeah, that was definitely the biggest news of the day. I knew it was going to happen. I do have the Stamkos socks on, so Stamkos score watch is on tonight. I'm actually, boys, you can't tell. I need that wide view that Stash has. You can't tell, but I look like a damn Smurf today. I've got the Lightning hoodie on. I've got the blue hat on. I actually have Lightning pants on, and my family's making fun of me whenever I walk around the house like this, but this is my chosen gear. And in fact, if you find me in Nashville in February, this might be what you see. Look for the blueberry or the Smurf. Anyway, yeah, that was great news. And if anyone out there is watching us, please hit that like or retweet or share button so we can get some more people in there. And reminder, so only have one. You want to join our game? There's nothing to it. All you have to do is answer 10 questions about the Lightning, and you can win yourself some Letty swag. Schoolie, what else happened this week?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I didn't even get to really talk about Stamkos. So I said,
go.
Schoolie jumped right on that. So I should have known better than to try and talk about Stamkos in front of Schoolie. The other big news, again, I think that we're coming in, aside from the games, is Bogosian being down again for another 2 to 3 weeks. So, those two things I think are probably the biggest, aside from wins and losses over the last week since we had our show. Probably the two biggest.
Chernak and Ruda.
Ruda. I mean, as far as I saw the lineup today, both of them are in tonight. I know they said doubtful earlier, but the most recent lineup I saw had both of them projected tonight. But I think Chernak might not still make it. I think that might be a hopeful projection.
I saw way earlier today, Chernak and Palat are pretty doubtful. So I'm counting on Schoolie to keep his eye on Twitter and keep us updated throughout the show.
Yeah, I saw Ruda was at morning skate. They said he came out for morning skate. I didn't see anything for Chernak. But they
Palat's
did
out though, right?
Palat,
Palat's definitely
most
out.
likely is definitely out tonight. I know I'm looking. The good thing is that the Kings are on back-to-back games. So we're actually getting their backup goaltender tonight. Quick started last night. So we get their backup goaltender tonight. The other thing is tonight is game 41 for us.
Halfway there.
Finally.
Half season after tonight, it will be half the season will be completed for us. So
An incredible comeback for the Lightning.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. We got some games in Hanover, some teams. Toronto's still at 36 games. Carolina's at 35. Boston's at 35. But once everybody gets that halfway point, how the dominoes stack there.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Boston, I think, is the team for me I want to see the most and get caught up because they're still 5-6 games behind us. Other than that, I feel like we're seeing where the Atlantic is going to stack up as, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's whoever that 4th and 5th team, those are the kind of places I'm looking at right now. Those top 3 teams, I don't think are going to change too much, except maybe, like I said, for Boston, see what happens with them.
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long they do this Rask experience. He gave up 5 goals tonight, was pulled. So we'll see how long they stick with this Rask.
This Rask fellow. I thought he was going to make the All-Star game.
What a rascal.
People were talking him up as he won the season.
He was going to get the last man vote in, right? Right
over
in.
Stamkos.
Over
Over my
Stamkos.
dead body.
Yeah, right.
All right, yeah. So I was checking the pulse on Twitter this morning. Matt's comment here. Matt. Sorry, left out of Matt. I wanted to kind of get a feel for who's actually going to stay up for these games. Usually, I'm a night owl, so I'm usually always up for these games. So I put the poll out there. You can still participate on it, I believe. Yeah, you got 12 hours left. So take a look at what our Bolts fans are saying on Twitter. Are you going to stay up for the 10:30 puck drops? By the way, the Friday night game, I think, is 10 o'clock
10
Eastern time. Sorry. As immediately, I think it was Chris
guys.
corrected me on that.
Sorry.
Anyway, look at that. 83% of you guys are staying up for the game. And guess what? We're going to kind of open it up for you guys to at least watch the first period for us or come see the after show that we actually do for ourselves after every podcast.
After the
So
party,
we'll put the link out there towards the end if
party.
anyone wants to join us. Some of you have joined it before and you know what we're talking about. It gets
Indeed.
unfiltered.
It's raw.
You know, before I forget, we also have a competition next week. Next week, we actually don't have a Tuesday night game. So we're going to probably go live around the same time, but we have a huge competition. Tonight, you can sign up. Anyone can sign up to do the trivia tonight and win. Next week is for bragging rights. We're going to crown the queen of Boltsville. I know it looks like Kim's in the chat. I know she's in it. Sarah's in the chat. I know she's in it. I emailed everybody that signed up for it, which was about 50 women earlier today with some instructions on next steps. You do have to answer that email. So if you guys are out there, check your email. But basically, that's got some instructions in it on what to do next. We're going to do that during next week's show, and it's going to be a longer trivia game. So we're excited about that to name the winner. Winner's going to win some tickets. Stash said he might be able to pull out a custom shirt for this. I would love to get with you this weekend to do that. One of a kind shirt. And, you know, we always pull out some other stops as well. So make sure you check that out. If you want to go sign up for that, we'll still take people for signups for that. You can go to onemob.com/p/we the thunder. I'm going to put that in the chat and in the notes for the podcast. So if you want to get in there, go check it out. And you can also follow us on basically anywhere you can follow us on that link as well, and see some cool clips from past shows. What else was this week? So the Gasparilla sweaters, which I don't think are for sale, but I think people are loving those.
Yeah.
Schoolie, they don't have the actual sweaters on sale at the team store, right?
No, it's only the t-shirts.
Yeah.
Try to pull up a picture of those real quick.
Boom.
As if anyone watching or listening to the show has not seen those, they're beautiful.
What rock are you living under is the question I have.
Yeah, those are really cool. And by the way, if you follow at We the Thunder, or what is our Twitter? I should probably know this, huh?
You should know it.
Follow our Twitter. We the Thunder Pod. Right?
We the Thunder Pod. Yes.
Yeah, We the Thunder Pod. I posted a picture. I was at the mall last weekend, and they had the actual Stadium Series Adidas jerseys at the mall. Didn't have the patch for Stadium Series, didn't have numbers. And apparently at the mall, whatever stores are in the mall in this area where they sell this kind of stuff, they don't have numbers or certain letters. So you can't even get things customized right now. It's like, shoot, I was going to get my shooter sweater, but going to have to wait.
Yeah, I think that's I know the team store has been having issues too. So I don't know if that's a regular thing for those places or if they're just having trouble with supply similar to the actual store at the arena as well. Because I know we were talked about one time they were out on ones at a certain point. Like, so I was gonna try and get my killer sweater one night, and they didn't have any ones. But yeah, that's so they actually had the Adidas one, not just the Fanatic one.
Yeah, they only had the Adidas one.
Oh, how did it look? Did you were you happy with it? Like,
yeah, it looked
good.
It looked really good. And I can't wait to get mine. But yeah, they were available. This was at Countryside Mall. I forget the name of the store because I never go to the mall, but I needed to go check out what they had there.
I'm pretty sure it's the Fanatics.
Oh no, what is that?
Lids.
Is that locker room by Lids?
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's owned by Fanatics anyway. So
all right. Well, I didn't find those jerseys, but you guys have all seen them by now.
Well, you see Stephanie sitting here saying that the custom one is going for $6,000 right now on the auction because they are auctioning out 5 of them.
Yeah, they need to sell out some or find some replicas of those jerseys. I had people reaching out from Arizona asking if I could get one of those for them, and I was like, they only got the shirts. They were supposed
to have all this stuff go on sale at noon the other day, and apparently they had over 30 people in line and had to come out and tell everybody that they did not have all the gear that they expected and that they wouldn't have them until that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what Stephanie is saying about which sweater she's talking about.
Gasparilla one, they
Gasparilla.
put 5 custom ones on auction,
Oh, okay.
and
I didn't know about that.
yeah, they put five of them up for auction. That's custom, anything you want on them, and it's up to $6,000 on them each one.
$6,000.
Here they
She
are.
said this says 600,000. That's crazy.
Oh, is it that far? I haven't.
That's what this post is. So maybe it's
I
$6,000.
think it's just off by a 0 there.
Maybe it's a $6,000.
I think it's
I don't know.
I think it's 6K, Stephanie. Here's
yeah.
the comment for the people that I always feel for the people that
Right.
just listen to the podcast. But hey, guess what? We got like invited to upload the video into the podcast feed. So if you listen to the show, the podcast on Spotify, they'll play the video like we're Joe Rogan. I'm gonna try it tonight. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, there's those cool jerseys. I think they're cool. Like they got that pirate Gasparilla look. Some people I saw were like, "What is this? This is can't do this crossover pirate stuff."
Dope. I think it's really cool.
It's for Gasparilla. They're gonna wear them for warm-ups for Gasparilla. We're playing Vegas. There's gonna be a lot of people at that game.
It's like 70% of our entire identity as a metro area. Freaking Pirates. It doesn't matter if it's just a Bucks mascot. Like it's basically.
I'd wear those as third jerseys. I'd wear those as home jerseys.
Yeah.
Like they're cool ass jerseys.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, I understand the gold because of the Pirates, but I think where it's all gold could be like silver and a little bit of blue in there.
Ooh,
You know
actually,
what I mean?
you're right. With Vegas specifically coming to town, this really kind of matches their color.
Yeah, it looks more Vegas to me. But yeah, it's crazy because I mean, you know, they re-released another round of the Stadium Series sweaters on NHL Shop of the Adidas ones, and I didn't sleep this time, and I grabbed my killer jersey, so I can't say that too loud. I don't want my wife to find out yet.
I know, right?
But yeah, so if because even Sarah was saying that they're not even taking orders for lettered sweaters now, which they definitely took mine last week. So hopefully that wasn't some kind of a glitch in the matrix.
I think she's well, no, I guess she's saying any player. So.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is.
And
that is an auction only, right?
Yeah, 6,000. Then there's this one for $5,000 now. This one's 4,300. That one's 4,000, and then that one's 4,000.
You can get an Andre Schuster one for like $15 though.
They started at $250. So,
well, I wonder what they're gonna do. Anyways, it's cool. It's cool to see them do more cool stuff like that. Yeah, more revenue for the team, right? While they still keep charging us $18 for a can of beer.
By the way, the can of beer, you saw I had it up earlier. Let me pull it up again. I want to see like if anyone's tried this out yet. It's a Cigar City special just for the Bolts. Let me pull this up. I just had it. Why do I lose it? There it is. All right, so there it is. You've got the high voltage IPA from Cigar City available at section 211 while supplies last. Who's tried this? Limited edition. I just like the can more than anything. I'm not a big IPA guy. I'll drink one. Sure, they're delicious sometimes, but let's check it. I'd love to hear if anyone's got their hands on this. Dash, we'll start with you. I don't think you've had it yet, right?
No, I haven't yet. I just haven't really. It's only been a couple days. I haven't left my house that far to go in search of it. But I would not be surprised if it's at the Publix near you in the very, very near future.
Well, here's the thing, though, is Cigar City just got bought out by Monster Drinks.
Yeah.
Monster Drinks. So this could be a very limited supply, and we might not see much more, excuse me, of Cigar City and Tampa Bay Lightning joint venture.
Sounds like you've had too many cigars.
Yeah. With Monster now buying them out.
I don't know why that would really change anything, honestly. Just you already have a great market here, and why? I mean, most places that come in and acquire a brand like that, it's not to come in and change it. It's to come in here and let them keep doing their thing and just take the money.
Although, usually they pull out of arenas and stadiums and stuff like that. when they come into. They'll keep Cigar City around, but they usually will pull out of the stadiums and stuff.
Anyways,
Stephanie's got the question. Did we hear about Ruda? We kind of touched on this earlier. I don't think anything's set yet, but I think Ruda and Palat were practicing today, so that's pretty good sign. And they're, I think, both questionable for tonight. So we're keeping our eye on Twitter to see if we can get any news. We got JP Peterson. I saw he tried to join, but I don't think he got his video going, so I didn't bring him on. But he is going to join, and we do have the game. We've got some other people in there now, but I still got spots. We are not going to do the game until after we talk to JP if he's able to join, but I've got plenty of spots. We only have a limit of 10 that we can do, but I've got spots if anyone wants to join. All you have to do on your phone or computer is kahoot.it. The pin is on the screen right now, 942-855 or 8588. And we're going to give away some of that good Letty swag for the winner. And it's really just 10 question, just kind of all over the place Lightning trivia. So Matt, get in there. I'm sorry, Matt. I keep leaving out that fourth Matt. So, but Matt just seems right. So get in there. We need some more people for this game before we get it started. And again, if you are in there, sit tight. Don't go anywhere. Refresh your screen if you have to. And we will play that game probably in the next 20, 25 minutes. You guys want to talk about the Kings? We've got a hockey game in about an hour and a half.
do we want to talk about Vancouver and Dallas first, or do we just want to talk about Kings?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about that Canucks game. 4-2 win over the Canucks, who were actually doing really well. Bruce Boudreau had taken over, and they were 8-1-1 since he took over the helm. They were not a good team earlier in the season. We had Palat out. We had McDonough out. So it's card stacked against us a little bit. Shen returned back to the arena. He got a nice little video, I believe, as most of the players are getting this season. It seems like every week we have one. Right. And the Bolts pulled that one off with, what was it? Stammer goal, Sorelli goal. You had the game winner from Ross Kachuk, which was awesome because on Canucks' first goal, he kind of gave up the booty on that one. And then you had an empty netter for Point. This was the game where Point said he's going to fuck someone up. Mm-hmm. You guys saw the clip. He was feisty as hell that game. You knew he was going to score a goal. It just happened to be an empty netter, which they count too. But I thought it was a good game for the Bolts to get in the win column against another West Coast team, which we seem to be mowing down. We'll see what happens this week when we're in their house.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was another one of those games I felt like they were skating well early, and then they were able to get that power play goal, and it basically was what kind of gave them that lead early. They felt comfortable, played their game, even after they tied about halfway through the first period. They came back at the end, which, we talked about that a lot on the show, how it seems like the Lightning have that propensity to give up those late period goals, and it really kind of changes the momentum. And in that game, the Lightning were the ones that got that last goal there, the last minute of the period from Sorelli. And I think that's what really kind of, set the tone for that third period for them.
You know what else happened that game for a little bit? We got a little taste of Cooch, Stamkos, and Killer. Yeah. I don't know why it happened. They didn't seem to go back to that against the Stars on Saturday, but those guys, it seemed like their first shift out there, they had it in the Canucks zone for like a minute and a half straight. And I was like, oh, I get used to this Cooch, Stammer, Killer line. Yeah. Right. But they seem to have broken that up pretty quickly. To me, the story of that game was definitely catch up, right? Like, making the early mistake, coming back on that breakaway. By the way, Cooch with these ridiculous passes nonstop to thread the needle there and get it to him to get that clean breakaway. Really good stuff. So No, I'm thinking of you know what?
No,
I'm
you're thinking
totally
about
messed
the
up. I'm
Dallas
thinking
game.
about the Ross Colton goal on
You're
Saturday.
thinking about Colton on Saturday.
The
I was going to let you get there.
Kachuk goal was Ross Colton and
Colton.
Kachuk passing back and
Back and
forth. And I thought they were just going to pass it back and forth until one of them was in the net.
Yeah.
But,
But great pass from it was a great pass from the boss and a real good finish from Ketchup putting it high.
Gotcha. All right. So that was the Canucks, which was last Thursday, and then you had the Stars, which was Saturday night, 3-1 win. McDonough was back, which is awesome. You got to see the debut of Corey Perry with Cooch and Point, line, which was fun. I don't know if we get some of that tonight. What? We should.
Projected lineup lots out.
In there.
We should see him on the top line. So what the projected line I saw from earlier I was like, I think Brian Burns was that Joseph would be the scratch, Perry on that top line, and then Colton, Colton, Kachuk, and Radish on that fourth line.
Yeah, Dallas went up early in that game. They had the 1-goal lead, and then it was all Lightning from there on out. Power play goal from Point. Colton, that was that beautiful breakaway pass from Cooch. Sorry about that. And then it was killer with the empty net at the end. And the Bolts put away the Stars and go 2-0 this week. And of course, we'll have to see what happens tonight. I'm texting JP Peterson, who's going to join us here. He's having some technical difficulties. Issues. I also see somebody has taken advantage of our texting with something that we definitely wanted to talk about, and that is Willie O'Ree's number 22 getting retired. And for anyone that doesn't know, Schoolie, since you don't want to talk very much tonight, tell us.
I've just been watching Twitter. I keep refreshing Twitter, looking at Twitter.
Tell us who that is for the folks who don't know.
Really, the first black gentleman that ever played in the NHL. A lot of Willie Reed broke a lot of barriers in the league. He's 86 years old, just now getting his number 22 jersey retired in Boston. He got called up in 1958 and played with them for 60 and 61. So if you see Matthew Joseph, Bellemare, they both came out this week and spoke highly of him and what they've done for their career. I know JT Brown in past has, Jamel Smith has in the past. That's something that Lightning has never shied away from, is a black player.
Didn't we put together the full first line of black players in one kind of forward line?
Yeah,
to start a game?
Walcott, Smith, and Joseph.
Yeah.
Last year. But they've always been very open to anything. We have PK Subban and now Malcolm Subban. You have Duclair. I know there's some more that's in the league that I'm just not thinking of, but it was all because of Willie O'Reed. So hats off to him and for Boston finally to retire his jersey tonight.
Yeah, it was Boston. The texter said Pittsburgh, I think, but it was Boston. And we were kind of talking about it before the show. Like, do they go Gretzky on it? Do they retire number 22 for everyone in the league? I don't think they've done that yet.
No.
But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that's something that happens in the future. And usually when they do something like that, like anyone that's wearing 22 today gets to wear that until they retire. They kind of get grandfathered in. All right. So listen, we've got 3 more spots for trivia. We're going to do it after we bring this next guy on, and we're going to bring him on right now. You know him. You see him on the big screen at Amalie Arena. You've heard him on the radio. You can catch him on his podcast where he's talking all kinds of sports. JP Peterson, welcome to We the Thunder. Can you hear us?
Yes, I got you guys. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yeah, man. Welcome on in.
Sorry, we're having a little Wi-Fi difficulty here at the house tonight. I don't know what's going on. Maybe this SpaceX rocket that just went off as I came on is a sign of hope that our technology will actually work.
They're supposed to be putting the satellites up there so this shit all works.
Yeah, hey, I feel your pain,
right
man. I'm
now.
usually the one. I'm usually the one with Wi-Fi issues here, so I feel your pain.
They can they can put a satellite into space, but I can't talk to you guys on Wi-Fi. It's crazy.
Well, hey, before I forget, we're a Bolts show, but I've been following you on some of the noise you've been making with the Rays. We are big on this, or actually we're not big. We don't like this idea of a split season for the Rays at all. And I think you're kind of on our side with that. What are you kind of organizing here to kind of make a stand against what the Rays are planning to do?
Well, Tally wants to say hi. You want to say hi, buddy?
Of course.
So I just got home so from my Bible study tonight. So I'm praying that this Sister City thing doesn't happen because it's the work of Satan. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But no, so we're oh my gosh.
Enough about the stew there, JP.
Okay, that's good. That was right on cue. Very good. This is what happens when I leave for a little bit.
What's your dog's name?
Tally. This is
Tally does not want this split season stuff either.
He does not want it.
Like help us.
He's probably like, Daddy, talking about this again. Will you stop, for God's sake?
Is that Tally after Tallahassee because you're from
up
there?
Well, she looks a little like Bolt, doesn't she? Like Bolt's mascot. Yeah, they could be twins. No, so we're out. We're organizing a rally. It's not. I think a lot of people call it a protest. It's not a protest. It's a rally. We're very proactive and positive about this. This is not as much as some of us would like to make it about Stu Sternberg and anti-Stu Sternberg. We want to bring. Yeah, exactly. Trust me. You guys have listened to my show. You know where I stand on that. But I'm trying to make this a more positive thing. To bring more people into the tent. And it's not so much about Stu as it is. The Sister City thing is ridiculous. It's a stupid idea. No, the fans up there don't want it. The fans down here don't want it. And the only people it benefits are Stu Sternberg's and his partners. It's a Sister City scheme. Exactly. It's all about money. It's about getting 3 TV contracts, 1 in French up there, 1 in English, Canadian wide, and then 1 in Tampa Bay, and getting 2 municipalities to build half a stadium for him so we can build 2 markets out of money. It's just a scheme. It's a scheme. It's all about him. The fans don't want it in either place. And the whole idea that, either it's half or nothing is a false choice. And Stu himself can't make that decision. Major League Baseball has to vote or allow a relocation, either a sister city or a full relocation. And Major League Baseball doesn't want to leave this market. It's the 12th largest market right now. It'll probably be the 10th largest market in the next 5 years. They don't want to leave this market. That would be silly. They're invested in this market already. There's a huge fan base here, as we can see on television. Everybody with any sense knows this is a stadium issue. Stadium location, and the stadium sucks. It's awful. The Lightning have obviously proven that if you give a great product, if you have a owner who's beloved, which of course the Rays do not, because their owner constantly blames the fans, constantly lies to the fans, treats them like crap. And Jeffrey Vinnick is exactly the opposite way. He's always been a fan-first owner. Their grassroots effort to cultivate fans has resulted in 270-some consecutive sellouts. They're in a central location in downtown Tampa, which has 2.1 million people within the 30, 45-minute drive. You have a great venue, a good owner, and you treat the fans with respect, and you put it in the middle of the market, you're going to sell out. I mean, the Lightning have proven it. So
what's that fan thing? I think the biggest thing really with them, it's the community, the lack of community and the lack of goodwill towards the fan base. And not just like blaming fans for attendance, but just there's no interaction. We've talked about that so much on our show over all the other iterations we've had of Shooter and I doing this, schooling involved or not. They don't reach out to the fan base. The Buccaneers suffered from it for a little while, but they've always had the good community with the kids at least, and having their little sections for the players, and then they have the section for the kids and all that. The Rays have never really been good at that. And that's what the Vinnick came in and really changed the way that the Lightning approached the community. And he knew that if he was going to come in and make the changes he wanted to to our downtown area, have the impact he wanted, he was going to have the fans and the community on his side. And I think if Stu had just done a better job of embracing St. Pete as it was doing its revitalization and having more of a hand in it and being more involved, you'd see a much better situation, a relationship with the fan base. And maybe we would be more willing to hear some alternative ideas, maybe not a half and half, because I don't think anyone would ever be on board with that.
No.
But some kind of an alternative situation where maybe they could even play on either side of the bay. So play some games in Tampa, some games in St. Pete.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, I think that they've just ruined it by not having any goodwill. You don't see them involved in any of the things that they're doing down there or across the bay. You just don't see a fingerprint in the community from Tampa Bay Rays like you do from the Lightning and from the Buccaneers.
But in that vein, we would like the Lightning fan group to join us, because I think a lot of Lightning fans overlap as Rays fans.
For sure.
And this rally tentatively scheduled for March 5th on a Saturday morning about 10 o'clock. There's not a whole lot going on that day. The Lightning don't have a game. No major events going on as far as we could see. It's only going to be for about an hour long. And then, we had talked about doing it in Ybor City, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the best spot. Something probably either Julian B. Lane or Curtis Hickson, something downtown, iconic Tampa. It's close enough to Ybor City. I mean, the point is to get thousands of Rays fans there to show Major League Baseball and to show our elected leaders that we're not down with the Sister City plan. It's full season. There's no reason to commit $350 million of public money for a half-season boutique stadium, whatever the hell that is. And the TSA, and I have multiple sources that have told me that are working on this TSA economic feasibility study. They're going to put one feasibility study out for half season and one for full season. And the half season is basically going to say, look, if you want to do half season, we could contribute a little bit of money, maybe $100 million. The rest you're on your own. Don't hold me to these numbers, but basically it's going to be, look, if you want to do the half city, fine, we'll help you out a little bit of infrastructure. But if you want to go full season, we're all in. We're all in, and that's what our message is from the fans. I mean, we've heard from the business leaders, we've heard from Stu. He's coerced these chambers of commerce to come along with him. But what's the fan voice saying? And we're going to be the voice of the fan. It's called #SaveOurRays full season. Save our Rays. Save because he wants to take them away. Our because this team was awarded to the Tampa Bay region, not to Stu Sternberg. It's our team just as much as it's his team. Save our Rays, obviously, and then full season. We want the Sister City plan is a joke. It won't work. The arrogance that an owner will say, hey, we'll abandon your market for half the year, but we still want you to love us and come to the games and build us half a stadium. Are you out of your freaking mind? Yeah. Like nobody, if they did this, and this is where Lightning fans will totally be on board with this, Lightning/Rays fans. If they did this and they're playing games in April and May, what's going on in Tampa in April and May? We're in the playoffs. Yeah. The Lightning are making another Stanley Cup run. And when we're in the playoffs, nobody gives a rat's ass about the Rays. You guys know that. The TV ratings, only when the Lightning are truly done with their run do people pivot to the Rays, right? So, I mean, the whole idea is it's nothing but a scheme for Stu to make money. So Lightning fans, come join us. I'll have the date all solidified. We're pretty sure it's going to be March 5th in the morning, Saturday morning. Location to be detailed later on.
Awesome. Yeah. So make sure you're following JP at FanStream JP so you can find out all the details. I'm pretty sure I can say that probably all of us on the show here will be there as well.
Thanks,
and I
guys.
see some people that are out there that saying Matt saying he's going to be there. Looks like Steven. No commitment from Steven yet, but I think Steven's going to be there. I mean,
only if he wears that fedora. I'm only allowing him to show up if he's wearing that fedora in this profile pic.
When I hear the team come out and say that full-time baseball in Tampa can't work as I'm waiting in line to get into a sold-out Lightning game, and then I'm going home to watch a sold-out Bucks game that I can't even get tickets for, I just freaking laugh at it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So
what is that based on, by the way? Where's the study? Where's the data? What is that? Just because Stu says it, it's magically true? Well, he also said when they introduced the Ybor Stadium in 2018 that this is the greatest market. It's fantastic. It's full of baseball fans. They'll be here for generations to come. the location is perfect. The design is awesome. This is what we've needed. And then we said, okay, you got to pay half. He's like, yeah, no, I don't think so anymore. Market sucks now. Terrible market. I mean, what a joke.
It's ridiculous.
But there is one thing real quick. There is something that I've seen on not necessarily Stu's side, but both the Bucks and the Lightning, their stadiums are owned by the Tampa Sports Commission. Where Stu, we're saying, hey, you're going to have to buy your own stadium, where Tampa has bought the other two stadiums for these teams. Mr. Vinnick didn't buy Amalie Arena. He bought the team. Tampa Sports Commission owns that. Same as Raymond James. Tampa Sports Commission owns that. That isn't the Glazers. So there is a little bit where he's going to have to spend more money than the other two sports.
Well, actually, let me correct you on that. It's the Tampa Sports Authority, TSA,
Right, yeah.
And they are. I know you meant that. But they would own the stadium as well. If they're going to chip in $350 million.
Okay, there we go.
They're going to own the stadium as well, or they'll have ownership of it. Typically, they'll run the stadium, they'll maintain the stadium, and the details will be worked out as to the revenue shares and who gets what. But obviously, the Rays will get a majority of the revenue shares. It won't be a sweetheart deal like the Glazers got. Trust me on that.
Yeah,
but it's still going to be enough to get the job done. Look, the Braves put in roughly half for their stadium. The Rangers did the same thing. There's no reason to expect that Major League Baseball wouldn't want Stu to do the same thing, especially when these owners just found out that he has $500 million in local TV money that he got up front. And by the way, if you take $500 million or $450 or whatever it is alleged in this lawsuit, you take that for a 30-year TV contract or 10, 15-year TV contract, how are you going to move the team? You already got the money for the Tampa Bay market.
Right.
How are you going to move the team?
Right.
He ain't going anywhere.
No. Well, and this is the other thing too about this whole situation. And I mean, I've said it since day one that this all came up. 2027. Yeah. Right. I mean, 2027. They're not letting him out. No, there's no way. They're not letting him out early. Period. Nope. So it's still 6 years still right away from the 4 or 5 years now or whatever. So even for a stadium to be built, and I understand it takes a little while, but I mean, I think you're still looking at a 4-year window to be able to build a stadium. Yeah. So I still think they have 2 years solid here where they could still have some negotiations and really put the screws to him and put him in the situation where he has to play ball with the city, because like you said, the fans, we're not going to stand for it, and this will just be the first. Like, it's amazing you're doing this, because I think this will just be the first of its kind. We'll see more rallies like this. We'll see the fan base become more and more galvanized and unified, especially if we start hearing things from like the mayor is on board with this idea of a sister city situation.
He's not.
And that's only rumors, but I mean, right. But that's the problem. We start hitting all the scuttlebutt and everything. And that's why. It's because,
that's just the Times. That's the Times misreporting stuff. And the Times does that all the time.
Right.
She explicitly has said she's not supporting either proposal right now. She's not supporting Sister City or the full. She's going to wait to, first of all, she needs to wait to see what the numbers are for both of them. All these CEOs that signed off, they haven't even seen the plan. How do you sign off on a plan, especially if you're a CEO, when you haven't even seen the numbers yet?
Right.
What did you sign on to? I mean, what are you doing?
And the other thing is, how long does her mayorship? Because I don't pay attention enough to local politics and like how. Yeah. But who's going to be the mayor in
2023? She's up for re-election.
Right. So who even knows who the mayor is going to be in 2027? I don't know that it's going to be her. So, I'm just saying. There's been a couple of things that went down the last couple of years that maybe
I could bet you a whole bunch of money that we're going to have in 23.
So, right.
I don't think
so. So I think there's a whole lot of moving parts still here over the next 2 years. 2 or 3 years before we're really up against it and we're at that dire straits where now it just
I think it's time to be breaking ground. Yeah, 3 years to build a stadium.
Yeah,
we're still a year away from getting this settled. So I mean that puts you at almost 2026. So it's pretty much time right now. It's crunch time.
Yeah,
crunch time.
Yeah, and I'm seeing.
Do you think it could be a ploy like? You've been here for a while at Channel A, news radio.
25 years.
Yeah. Do you remember the Giants were coming to Tampa?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were the Tampa Bay Giants. I had my Tampa Bay Giants shirt And then of course they get the new one. We also had the White Sox was coming here. I mean, this was the whole reason the Trop was built, was for the White Sox / the Giants.
Right.
And then in comes the Rays, because those two cities.
Well, that's how we got the team. Is the Moley was going to sue Major League Baseball for screwing us over, and they finally had to give us a team because of that, because they didn't want to go to court against the Moley. They probably would have lost. So that's how we got the team, and that's why they're at the Trop, because Major League Baseball never wanted. They told them, don't build it there. Don't, because they knew there's only 600,000 people within a 30-minute drive. Their minimum for a stadium is 1.6 million people. They knew it was going to fail from a fan standpoint. Bud Selig even said back in, I think it was like 2001, 2002. He even said, well, eventually the stadium's going to be in Tampa. He slipped and said that. He knew that was always the plan. It just, it's just taken a long time to get there.
That monster lease that they signed.
Yeah. Well, keep us posted. We'll keep our followers posted. I've seen, 4 or 5 people in the chat who sound like they are in. Even Kimberly on here admitting she's a Yankees fan and saying she will still go. Hey, that's the kind of support we need, because you know what? You can't go see the Yankees during the regular season if we don't have a team here to watch them play.
Plus everybody wants a new stadium to go to. Go see the Yankees in a beautiful new stadium with all the modern amenities, not that Trop.
Well, and I the other thing I wonder is, like, from a marketing standpoint and concept of, now you already have Amelie down there as a great venue. We've got Ray J there, a little far away, but great. You're potentially putting somewhere where you can make it a hybrid situation where it's not just for baseball. It could be a great entertainment venue as well.
Super,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
to bring it back to the
location and how it's laid out, you see what Lightning have done and how they've revamped Amelie into making it such a great experience to just be there. You can make a destination ballpark where it's not just baseball fans that are being drawn there. It's something that when you come to Tampa, it's on the bucket list of what you got to do, whether you're a baseball fan or not. You got to go to an event at the field or whatever.
I'm gonna just throw something out there. The people, do it because that's what I do. I stir the pot. I try to look at things that are going on. Okay, so this is nothing that I know, is happening. I don't have any inside information. I just look at things around and kind of put them all together. It usually works out pretty well. So Mr. Vinnick has recently sold a slice of the Lightning. Okay, he's also sold off, I believe, some of his investments. So he's clearly gathering a big old pile of cash for something. I mean, he's doing something. And I wonder what that is. I think it's very interesting that this whole thing is going down with the baseball stadium now. And think about that. They're going to build an entertainment district around the baseball stadium to help pay like they did the Battery in Atlanta, which has been wildly successful from a financial standpoint. It's a great template to follow. And, here is Jeffrey Vinnick with this huge Water Street venue that he's built, this whole complex. And he also owns the Yuengling Center, right? They run the Yuengling Center. They have this huge broadcast facility that they built out at USF. And it's like, that thing's not going to sit there to do, with all due respect, USF soccer games. There's something's cooking here. I don't know what it is, but something's cooking. And I know that they talked years and years ago about an interest in the Rays, and Stu didn't want to sell, so that just went flat. But I mean, Mr. Vinnick is if nothing else, the biggest philanthropist in our community, and I know he would love to be able to swoop in and save the Rays. And again, he's not said anything to me about this. I just wonder, and this company that they just brought in is a big sports management company that has ties to European soccer. He may be looking at buying a European soccer team. That could also be something that would be a great idea. Diversify his holdings, etc. I mean, it worked pretty well
for the Glazers. Yep.
So I just, I'm excited to know what he's going to do and where he's going with this. So,
I know I did ask him when he sold his share of the Red Sox, and I said, please buy the Rays, and he told me not to hold my breath.
Yeah, exactly.
That has been a couple years ago, since 3 years ago, before COVID and stuff. So
I think that has more to do with Stu, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stu didn't want to sell because he's making too much money.
Right.
He's got his cash.
He's got to sell. Yeah, he's got to sell all of his houses.
He also did have Stu just buy the Rowdies too.
Yeah.
So now they own the Rowdies, which is playing there at Al Lang in St. Pete. So
Right. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk some Lightning, but if we got a little time
Let's
left.
go Bolts.
Lightning hockey. Let me just put a reminder out there because I keep seeing we're doing a little trivia game after we talked to you about the Bolts. I see people kind of going in and out. Stay tuned. We will do the game after we talk to JP about the Bolts here before the game starts. Don't worry. So what are your thoughts on the season so far? Started off a little bit slow, maybe a little Stanley Cup hangover. The injuries come into play. Now you're starting to see, some guys get healthy. Some guys are still on IR and missing games, but it seems like they're starting to hit their stride. You're starting to see that fourth or third. I don't know what we call the maroon line these days. I still call them the fourth line. Starting to put it together as if they are that third line from the last 2 years, which we know was so crucial for these playoff and Stanley Cup wins. What do you think of the season so far? And what do you think is going to happen as we go down the stretch here? We're halfway through the season. I think this is kind of the halfway point this game.
Well, I couldn't be more pleased. I mean, given the injury to Kucherov and Chernak and Pointer, I mean, if you told me we'd missed all these games with those guys, I would have been happy with just being 500. I mean, honestly, think about it. When you lose all the guys we lost in the offseason and all the guys that were on the injured list, I mean, there were nights out there where half of our team was completely new from last year. I mean, that's unheard of, right? And we were still munching points, still getting points. I mean, I think that what we've developed here with these younger players now, and they've come in and with Kachuk and I mean, they've done such a great job of folding in Ross Colton, even though he was hurt for a little bit or COVID for a little bit. He comes back the other night and scores an unbelievable goal. There's skill involved in that. I mean, that kid's going to be he could be a star in this league. And you look at Kachuk and all these young – Matthew Joseph has reached another level. I mean, when he really starting to learn how to finish, and, man, if he gets even a little bit better at that, he's going to be tremendous. And then you look at the way that we played defense the last 3 games in this 3-game winning streak. We're allowing, I think, less than 20 shots a game. I mean, we allow less than 20 shots a game, and we have Vasi back there, and we're still, we can score when we need to score. Am I crazy? But is Kucherov better now than he's ever been? He comes right off the shelf, and I mean, he's just destroying people. I mean, he's undressing people. His vision and his passing, and maybe we just missed it and we forgot how good he was. But
can we talk about how many different looks that guy has too? I mean, right? He can't it's not even Kucherov. It didn't even look like Kucherov out there. He's got a whole new look and everything. I'm like, he's just. I mean, this team like Cell and Dragon Ball Z just comes back as a whole new, better version of himself every time he misses a little bit of time.
I think if you're any other team in this league, you're looking at the Lightning going, oh shiz, man, these guys they're better. They may be better this year than they were last year. I mean, he got some fresher legs. I think we got a little bit more size, a little bit more speed. And then you still got, I think Corey Perry has been a tremendous addition. Belmar's been an unbelievable addition. How good is he in penalty kills? Give the coaching staff a lot of credit. I mean, they've molded all these guys in, and they kept winning games in the interim until the Kucherov and Pointer can get back. I mean, Pointer brings a whole nother level of just skating ability and playmaking, and Stamkos is reborn. I mean, how cool is it that he gets voted in to I thought there was no way he was going to beat out Tavares. He gets voted in to the NHL All-Star game. And frankly, as much as I wanted to see these guys play in the Olympics, we had a lot to lose. I mean, we're talking about 11, 12 players that probably would have played in this thing, and Lord freaking knows what would happen in China. I mean, I wanted to see them play. I wish they could have organized a tournament over here, an Olympic tournament over here, and played it over here and televised it as the Olympics. I don't know why they didn't do that. But bottom line is we're going to get a lot of rest. Stamkos was talking about that today. We're going to get a lot of rest during these weeks because we don't have as many games to make up as Toronto and some of these other teams. So this is really, really falling our way. Our team's going to be rested and fresh. And when we hit the playoffs, bro, we're going to be ready to go. So I can't be more excited about this team. I think we're in as good a position this year as we were last year, if not better.
And what's even crazier right now? This is the craziest stat right now. 2.14. Andrei Vasilevsky's goals against average right now. That's insane. When you consider about how many people they've had out, even on the blue line, and this team plays team defense too. So it's not just when you talk about, okay, so we lost some of the forwards. Those guys, you're talking about some of the major puck possession guys that really control the puck for the Lightning. So not only you're missing some guys on the blue line, but you're missing the guys that are great on forecheck and possessing the puck for us. So for Vasi to still have those kind of numbers, I think only 10 games he's given up more than one goal or something. Like, it's a crazy stat after the Dallas game they showed.
Yeah.
I mean, a 2.14 saves goals against average is just, to me, mind-blowing with
it's going to get better.
Injuries. And exactly. I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So
you saw how locked in he was last playoffs. I saw I think it was Barstool tweeting about like Mike Richter's run in 94, which was a great run. But I had to remind them, did they not watch the last NHL playoffs and what Vasi did, which nobody else has done, shutting out teams to close out series. Hey, I didn't see Sonia's comment here. I got to give her she's got her own sound effect when she
What's up, Sonia?
Sonia pretty much sums it up perfectly right here. The future is bright, and it's been pretty bright for a while here. So yeah, I think you're spot on. We were talking about it. We were really upset for some of the players, especially a guy like Stamkos, who might have made that Canada roster. But in the long run, with the amount of just mileage that this team has on it over the last 2 years, man, that break that they're going to get in February, of course, they're going to have some games sprinkled in there that got postponed. But wow, that's going to help tremendously. And even like right now, we're bumped up and bruised up. You got Chernak, who can't stay in the lineup. Palat hopefully is going to play tonight.
Bogosian.
But these guys can use that. Bogo's out now for a couple weeks.
As of right now, Eric Erelson says that it looks like Chernak will play tonight.
No Palat though.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's no Pally. I think Ruda and Cerny are both gonna play. So I think the blue line should be decent.
Hey, shout out to Pally, man. How good has he been lately?
Listen,
forever. How about him stepping up in that time when all those guys were out? I mean, he's scoring goals. He's doing it. I mean, doing everything. That guy, for a 7th round pick, 400 points. I mean, what a career he's had. And he has been the glue guy. He just I can't say enough about that guy.
He started on the triplets and got hid behind Tyler Johnson and Kucherov. I mean, when you have
he made them work, man. I think that was such a good chemistry.
I mean, I think he was the glue of that line, and we see him doing that now.
John Cooper will tell you that for sure. He's set up multiple times, And I'll tell you right now, I was a guy that was very, very tepid, really, if you will, about Palat. Killer's been my guy, so a lot of that time, people were talking about Palat and Killer. I'm like, well, for me, the Killer is the guy that's way more important. But the more you look at it, it's almost like you can't really say which one of those guys is more important because of what they bring is different in their games. Yep. But that being said, of all the people that the Lightning haven't been able to hold on to over the last few years, including Verhaeghe and Marshy and all these other guys that, I think Pally leaving next year because we're not going to be able to afford him as a UFA. I think that's going to be one of the biggest holes the Lightning have to fill in a really long time.
I think some of these guys, I think they'll stick around. And they'll stick around for less money. Nobody wants to leave this culture.
That's a huge pay cut with Braden Point's money kicking in next year. That's a huge pay cut for Pally from, almost $6 million to maybe $3 million, if that. NHLP. I don't know. Like, I hate to talk in the future. I'm just saying that's the one guy that like Blake Coleman. I think that was another guy. If there wouldn't have been for COVID and the salary cap being flat, I think that was one of the guys they were really targeting to try and bring into the fold to keep here for a long time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because you're right. That guy, he's just season after season, the last 3 or 4 years, proven more and more why he is where he is, how valuable he is to this team. And
look at his record. Look at our record when he doesn't play.
Yeah, he's probably the most impactful player when you look at wins and losses because this team still finds a way to win without Cooch, without Point. Yeah. When it comes to Pally being out, it's a much different lineup.
Yeah, you're right, Kimberly. You're spot on. We'll find a way to keep him. I think he's way more valuable to us than he is to other teams, and I think he knows that. He fits in so well here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I definitely think he got paid overpaid in
Yeah.
his last contract or his current contract. I definitely think he got overpaid a little bit. So that may impact his ability to stay here for less money. I don't know how the NHLPA works and everything else, because I know there has to be some type of a fair salary for guys so
It'll
you
be
can't
up
just
to
start
him.
taking the market. But
It'll be up to him.
yeah, I know it'll be up to him mostly. So
I
we'll
think he'll
see.
stay. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hey,
I would
real
love it.
quick, Tim's asking who will be in for the injured D tonight. Where we're hearing Ruda is probably going to go. So you still got Bogo out, and Chernak, I believe, is going to be out. So you're probably looking at Schuster in, and who else is going to? Oh, probably
Foot.
the young kid. Yeah,
Foot and Schuster probably skating tonight.
Foot and Schuster were both on
Yeah.
on the lineups.
That makes sense. And just kind of looking at the Kings, by the way, I believe the game's on ESPN Plus. So
It's on Bally.
Okay,
on
it's
Bally.
on Bally.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
on Bally. You
ESPN
can
Plus
stream it.
earlier. I'm like, oh crap!
Yeah, no,
everyone's
stream it
gonna
on
go
Bally
full.
Sports app.
But yeah, the Kings, we played them about a month ago here at Amalie. It was a 3-2 overtime win. I thought the Kings played excellent that game. They're actually 7-3 over their last 10 games. They did play yesterday during the day, though, in San Jose and gave up 5. They lost the game and gave up 5 goals to one player.
Yes.
They are going to be playing tight on defense today, because we look at our roster. First of all, we've got 4 or 5 guys that can score 5 goals that would really like to, but I think we're in for a good game tonight. And the Kings, not so good on the power play, not so good on the penalty kill. So special teams is going to be, I think, what really propels us.
Their leading
This
scorer
game
is also out on COVID.
Yeah, Adrian Kempe is their leading goal scorer, I believe, this season. He's got out with COVID, which the Bolts kind of got lucky with that.
COVID in California?
Yeah.
With all the lockdowns and masks they wear out there? I thought they got rid of COVID out there. They know everything about COVID out there.
Well,
oh my gosh. Who was it? He's vaccinated? He still got COVID in California?
Well, they've announced that they're going to stop testing players that are asymptomatic. Finally,
wow, what a good idea!
Finally, Sarah. Yeah, I was literally just scrolling back to find
tests
that.
Are wrong anyway.
I was just scrolling back to find that comment from Sarah earlier in the show. Yeah. We didn't mention that at that time, but yeah, that's probably some of the biggest news in the last couple of days coming out of the league.
I think the NHL once again has always been beholden to Canada as far as the COVID protocol goes. And, I was glad to see them start to loosen up on that, because if they stayed married to that, they weren't finishing the season. So thank God Bedman got some courage on that level.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not allowing this BS like, oh, we can't allow this many fans in the stadium, so we're going to postpone the game because of that.
Yeah,
I
Canadian
hope that's
markets,
not going on anymore.
I
I haven't heard. But the other thing about the Kings that I saw is they get better as the game goes. They're really bad scoring in the first period. So I think one of the keys tonight is to get those early goals, get on that board first, because that's what the trend is with them, is they just kind of get better throughout the game. And I think special teams are going to be huge in this one. If we got to get on the penalty or get a power play, their PKs ranked 27th, so watch out.
Nice.
Our power play really hasn't hit full stride, I think, since we got back our key stars. So, this could be the night that they really blow the doors off. And I think it's going to be a pretty interesting swing out west, as we've seen a lot of these teams come down in the South and just get beat up. Playing these Southeast teams.
Well,
Now
I'll tell you what, it's a tough road trip now. Back in the day, it was like, you play the Lightning and you get Carolina and Florida, you're good, no big deal. Now you got to go play Carolina, Florida, and then us. I mean, that's a freaking gauntlet right there. I mean, that's probably 3 of the top 5 teams in the league in my book, anyway.
Yep.
If it's not Kodak Black Night down at the Panthers, then a lot of entertainment going on. Very on brand for the Panthers, by the way. I thought very nice to bring him in and have him put on a show. That was very on brand for South Beach, Miami, Sunrise. So
right next to the owner's box, of course, too. I mean, they couldn't have had it any better located either.
A good thing they were just twerking. You know,
Yeah.
That's all.
That's
They were
what
just
they were
working.
doing.
They weren't working. They were just working.
Yeah, I keep seeing these headlines for like the Flames and the Canucks, and it's like, what's wrong with the Flames? What's wrong with the Canucks? And if you look at the schedule, it's like, oh, they just visited the Southeast and went through the gauntlet.
Yeah. Isn't that funny that the place that the road trip you dread the most is into the Southeast? Like you come down here as far as playing hockey. I mean, they all love coming to Tampa early and and hanging out here for 3 or 4 days. They love that.
Right.
But they're getting their ass handed to them by all 3 of these teams.
I think they said that road trip has cost 2 to 3 managers their jobs. We know one, the Phillies.
That's right.
Phillies
That's
one.
right.
But they said this little. That's why everybody's scared to come down here, because you might not leave with the job after you get done doing it. A couple things, stats for a head-to-head against the Kings. Vasi's 6-2 all time versus the Kings with a .923 save percentage and a 2.58 goals against average. They're back-to-back. They have their backup goalie Peterson in. We have our Peterson tonight. They have their Peterson also tonight. They are this season on back-to-backs. They are, what was I just reading? 3-2-1 on the back halves of their back-to-backs.
I feel like we're gonna get that inspired play from them after their performance yesterday, though. You can't let up 5 goals to one player, especially against a team like the
Lightning
Sharks.
Are rested and they're ready to go.
That's
played a whole lot of games
Saturday.
So I expect the Lightning to have some jump tonight as well.
Yeah, and I'd love to see us take out the Kings tonight and take out another LA team.
By the way,
on
are there going to
Sunday.
be any fans in the building tonight?
I don't know how they do it out there.
I've seen a couple of UCLA basketball games, I think, that were fanless. But I think the Lakers are still having fans, so I'm sure the Kings will as well.
I think they'll have more fans than the Panthers are still drawing down in Sunrise. Although they're getting better. There's a lot of people at that one game where they're showing against Quinton.
Well, that's why they came. They came to see Kodak Black. They didn't come to see hockey.
So did he.
I messaged my buddy who works for the Panthers, and I told him, I was like, you guys just need to get a rapper every week to just go give him a suite.
Perfectly on brand for that.
How is Flow Rider not your in-arena DJ? Like, how does he not have Greg Wolf's job for you guys? It's like a marriage made in heaven. Right. Flow Rider every day.
He's not raunchy enough.
Pitbull on Saturdays, right?
He's not raunchy enough.
That's true.
And our guy's going to be in the house. It looks like in LA. Fo Williams, our kind of
nice. Love Bo. That was awesome.
We'll be out there.
Nice.
So that's cool. JP, what do you think is going to happen tonight in the game?
I think the Bolts are rested, and there's always a little bit of the LA Lights, I think, bring out a little bit of something in our guys. I think we'll see a little showtime tonight. I think they're playing in the arena. I think we could see a little showtime. Boys want to show off a little bit. They're out west. They don't see us very often. I think we're going to give them a show tonight. I really do, especially after what happened to them yesterday. I mean, you think they're going to come. What that shows me is they're not a very good defensive team. And when you play the Lightning, if they can't skate with us tonight, they're going to get their doors blown off.
Yeah,
so,
it could get ugly. I know there's a lot of fans here in Tampa that are going to be watching that are hoping that first period's, like a 3-0, 4-0, so they can go to bed. I actually did a poll. We pulled it up earlier on Twitter today, asking how many people were actually going to stay up for some of these West Coast games. They're all starting at 10:30 at night. Guess what number said yes? Guess what percentage, JP, of fans said yes?
I'll go 35%.
83%.
83% said they're going to stay up.
Said they're staying up. Now, if you follow us on Twitter, you're pretty much a diehard Bolts fan.
That's true, yeah.
So a little bit skewed there, but I was still impressed.
Normal hockey fans.
It's
you sickos like me that love every minute of the late night games. I stay up till 1 or 2 o'clock every morning anyway. So.
Yeah, I will not be able to fall asleep till after the game. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
You got to remember, Vasi owns Kopitar.
Oh, that's right. The behind the back save.
Oh,
Remember that a couple
that's
years ago?
right.
And he did an
That's
amazing
right.
save this past when Kings came here against him too. So he's in Kopitar's head.
Well,
I
he better
had a
be.
personal question why we got stashed away there for a minute. JP, where did you come up with the everybody knows you from the arena? And by one word, there's one word that you always say at every single game that when we say JP Peterson, they might not know the name, but then as soon as we say next, everybody knows who you are. Is that something you came up? Is that something you came up with, or?
I just try to, that last word, whether it's coming up next or be the thunder, and then the thunder crashes. I love that stuff. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm not the hype guy like Greg. That's his job, but I try to do a little bit of hype every now and then, kind of at the end. I'm more the informational guy. Greg's a much better hype guy than I am. So I try to throw a little spice in there every now and then. I hope you guys really, we try to throw a lot of stupid puns in, which we hope you guys enjoy. We're pretty good at that. And then I'm always throwing in little zingers. Like, what was it when all the Flyers fans showed up? I was like, hey, Flyers fan, we see you down there. Welcome to the arena. Spend lots of money. Thanks for your donation to the Kucherov Scholarship Fund. And if you'd like to go by the team store and see what a Stanley Cup ring looks like, you might want to enjoy some, maybe get you some Stanley Cup gear. It's been a while. So I'm always going to be digging, especially if they have a lot of fans in the house. We'll be slipping in, some snarky comments here and there. Nothing rude, of course, but just to welcome them, to make sure they know their place.
Keep that up, because they need to be reminded where they're at, even though some of them probably live in my neighborhood over here.
Right.
We need to remind them where they live now.
Just spend the money, enjoy the L, have a good time.
Yeah.
That's what we like to say.
Get to see your team lose, win or loss. You should be happy. Most of the time, it's a loss.
That's right, Lee. Take your L. Have a good night. Have a few drinks. Spend your money.
Come to the greatest, one of the best arenas in the league, and really in the country, bar none. And
tonight you get to finally see a good hockey team.
Yeah, great presentation.
Yeah. So I think that's what we try to do most with the Lightning Hockey Night Live is have some fun with it, give you some information, get all the key stats out there, enjoy, give you the highlights during the intermission. Now we're doing a lot of the future figures, we call it, or further figures. We got all the information on the in-puck data that we're getting, and the players wearing the trackers, so we know how fast they're skating, how fast the shots are going, which I think is kind of cool. We've added that to it. So it's fun. It's meant to be fun, informational. Of course, we get a lot of the community hockey information out there, and have some sponsored stuff, obviously, but we hope you guys enjoy it.
Do you like sitting there in the Chase area rather than like years ago, the Buddy Byright desk?
Oh, yeah. I love my studio.
My
studio's inside the Chase Club. So, it's great. And I just love interacting with the fans because I walk around the whole building. I'll go down and sit on the Valley set in 128 with Andrew, Chuck, and Paul. And but mostly I like walking around the arena talking to fans. Fans are so awesome. They come up to me. They're so nice. And, whether they want to take a picture or just chat some hockey, I love doing it. I think it's a great part of the job for me. But I enjoy interacting with the fans as much as I can during the game. So if any of you guys are out there and you're coming to a game, you see me walking in the hall and say, oh, I don't want to bother him, please come bother me. I'd love to talk to you. Come say hi. Whatever. Sometimes I got some tchotchkes I can give away. So just please don't ever think if I am too busy, I'll politely say, hey, I'm late to do my hit. But 99% of the time, I'm ready and available and love to chat. So
they're going to track you down now.
I love that, though. It's like a theme, because Sonia is very much the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greg, very much the same way. Like you find.
Hey, we take our lead from the head man. It's all about the fans. It's all about the fans. That's what we're there for. And so please, anytime, come up and say hello.
Awesome. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna spare you of our fun and games here. We've got some Letty dressing, some big rig swag to give away. Officially our sponsor on this show, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So anyone that wants to join us, make sure you get into that game now. Directions are on the screen to get in. This is your last chance. We're going to play in the next 5 minutes. JP, you got anything else to tell the fans before the game? And hopefully you'll come back and join us before we get to the playoffs.
Anytime, guys. Enjoyed it. No, I think we're in for a good show tonight out in LA. I think it's going to be fun to see some of these teams we haven't played against in a while. I kind of like the West Coast swings instead of, the COVID year with the same teams all the time. Oh my gosh. I love winning and all, but that was awful. Columbus again. Oh my God! It's
Take that basket of softballs for only so long,
I know. So it's good to see that, and I really thank you guys for having me on. I love chatting with the fans. It's really fun chatting with you guys, and yeah, we'd love to have Lightning fan support during our Rays rally. I'll have all the details, but you guys are in on the inside because we're thinking March 5th, 10 o'clock in the morning. Probably one of the downtown parks. We still got to go through all the permitting and stuff. So that's what we're looking at. We need, just an hour of your time, a few thousand fans. We're going to have a good time.
You keep us posted, and we'll make sure we share it with all of our followers and fans as well.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Go Bolts.
Awesome. Appreciate it,
Bolts.
JP.
You guys.
We'll give you a lightning strike on the way out.
All right. Be the thunder.
All right.
All right. Thanks. All right, so we've got a game starting in about 40 minutes here, the Lightning game starting.
The Lightning game.
So we dropped down to 4. I think a lot of you folks were probably signed into the game. It might have logged you out. So what you're going to need to do is probably go back, enter that code back in there. Let me put it on the screen. You go to kahoot.it on your phone. Put in the code. I'm going to wait till we get a little bit more. I see a bunch of you guys jumping back in. I'm going to wait another 5 minutes, and then we will start this game. The winner's going to have their choice of Letty dressing. We've got the awesome hat. We've got the shampoo and conditioner, and we've also got the hair. It's not gel. I know
conditioner is better.
What do they call it?
It's a pomade.
I have that stuff.
It's nice.
I don't have it in right now.
It's nice peppermint. And that's the other thing. If you guys don't know, the whole thing behind the Letty dressing line is that tea tree shampoo and products are really popular last few years, but this is peppermint base, and it's got some tea tree to it, but really the peppermint is what really kind of sets it apart, makes it different. And I'll tell you, for me personally, and this isn't just a plug for the sponsor, although it probably could be, I kind of get a little bit of a dry scalp. I don't have like a dandruff situation, but I get kind of a dry scalp. And so any like the tea tree shampoos or this shampoo specifically, awesome, not just for the hair, but for the scalp as well. So for those of you out there who haven't had a chance to try it or check it out yet, try and win some tonight. And if not, don't forget to use our promo code to go get yourself 15% off anything that you might not be able to win tonight.
Thunder. All right, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here. I've got 5 in right now. Hopefully you guys are all still awake. We're keeping you up for the game tonight. I want to see if we can get a couple more. I see, there we go. We're up to 7. We got room for 3 more. I'm going to put the time on it. We're going to start at 9:55. So hang tight for I think the first person that's been in there has been in there since before the show even started, because they messaged earlier. But yeah, this is going to be a 10-question trivia. You're just going to answer on your phone. It will matter how fast you answer, because that will rank, who gets the most points, right? So you can go Google the answer if you want to, but remember, you answer it right, you're going to be kind of bottom of the barrel as far as kind of who's answered it first. So again, we'll give it we got 2 more spots left. We're going to wait till 9:55. So we got less than 2 minutes to go. Schoolie, any update on Twitter on what's going on with the Bolts?
Nope, they'll be coming on the ice in 7 minutes. So I'm waiting for that. If someone wins,
so we'll find out
the pomade. I will take your pomade. If someone, I need some of that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's the stuff I have. I haven't used the shampoo yet, but maybe I'll take one of these bottles for myself. I have a feeling the hat's going to be the big the big seller here. And
I love it. I love that it's an old, like retro, like grandpa boating hat.
It's got even
Right.
kind of the
It's got the rope
line
across the
right
bill. Yeah, it reminds me of my grandpa's old boating hat. I love it.
All right. So again, I'm gonna wait. We still got 2 more spots left. I'm gonna wait till we get to 9:55 and 10
Stephanie, if
questions.
you're not in there, get in there. Steven, if you're not in there, get
Steven's
in there.
in. You guys be awake and answering though when we start the game.
Matt,
This is
Matt,
actually
Matt.
kind of we'll be honest. This is actually kind of our trial run for next week when it is women only. We will crown the queen of Boltsville.
The queen of quiz.
The winner's gonna get some tickets to an upcoming Lightning game. Get stashed to make that one-of-a-kind shirt that they can wear to the game. We're gonna put you in our next Bolts animation somewhere. Like this is the real deal.
Wow.
No, who else is offering that kind of package? Just
Prize
for
package
toys
worth
team you
up
love?
to $50.
All right, so we dropped down to 7, but I'm gonna cut it off right there unless we get any last minute joins. We're gonna share this. We're gonna get rid of some of the stuff on the screen for anyone that is listening on the podcast. We apologize as always, but we're gonna start this game. If you see your name on the screen, you are in. Get your phone ready. Get ready to answer some questions. This is Kahoot. All you have to do is answer the random Bolts trivia questions in 3, 2, 1. Quiz.
Should I shout
All
him
right.
out?
What team is the only that the Lightning have not scored 9 goals in one game against? So what team has the Lightning not scored 9 goals in a game against? 3 of these teams, they've scored 9 goals in one game on, which is incredible. But one of these teams they didn't, and you need to pick the shape and color of the team that they did not. So we've got Atlanta Thrashers for the win. Everyone except for one got it right, at least those that answered. So we'll move on and see who's in first place here. Mikey Dubs has the lead so far. Oh, our Toucan fan's gone. But that's all right. Let's keep it going. Question number 2. This is 10 questions. How many games in a row did John Cooper win in the AHL to set the record for most consecutive wins in the AHL? Went on a long streak back with the Norfolk Admirals with several players who were on the Stanley Cup winning team, especially that 2015 team. They went on a huge streak. How many games did they win in a row? Incredible run they went on. So the majority went with 28, which was the correct answer. That's crazy. 28 wins in a row. That's a record that still stands today. Let's see. Mikey Dubs still on the top. Let's keep it rolling. Question number 3. What round was Andre Palat drafted in? JP actually mentioned this on the show. I almost kind of mentioned it or put in the chat, like, you better be listening to the show. He mentioned it. And hey, this is one that I expect a lot of you guys to get right. By the way, I think we've got a time limit here. You have like 20 seconds to answer.
Yeah, it's counting there on the side.
All right, 7th round. So most people got that. A couple people thought it was the 5th round. Now you know, 7th round. Who do we have in the lead? Mikey Dubs with that early lead going strong. Let's keep it going. Who is the Lightning's worst head coach? This is by points percentage. Tortorella, Terry Crisp, Jacques Demers, or Barry Melrose? This is a tough question.
I guess.
I wouldn't have got this one right. This is a really tough question. I try to make these tough.
I want to say Crispy.
That was their first
I would have said Jacques.
But it was Jacques Demers who had a horrible. Not far behind was Barry Melrose. That threw you guys off, and I knew it would. But yeah, you did get 2 that got Jacques Demers right. And there we go. Oh. Same results here. Mikey Dubs.
Matt moved up 1.
Still in the lead. In what year were the Tampa Bay Lightning founded? You better know this one. This is the give me.
Here's the
98, 95,
cookie.
90, and 92.
Here's the cookie.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Survey says 1992. For some reason, Two of you got confused with the Tampa Bay
with
Rays, who
the
were founded
Rays.
in 1998.
This is We the Thunder, not We the 98ers. Just to make sure everybody knows what show they're watching.
Mikey
Steven's
still
on fire.
holding on. Steven making some moves. You've got Nuclear Spice moving up. I know who that is. And our toucan looks like he woke up. Thank you. How long was Lightning's longest winning streak in franchise history? 10, 11, 12, or 14? Longest winning streak in franchise history. I think they're about to go on a run and beat this.
I do too, because we are on 3 in a row coming into tonight's game, correct? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
We lost to Boston.
No,
was the
that's
last
the
game.
Boston. Yeah.
11 games. Oh, that one got you. That's a tough one too. 11
Yeah.
games is the franchise record for the Lightning.
11.
And
Well,
Steven
which-
coming strong.
Which just goes to show how crazy that 28 game streak is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was incredible. All right, Mikey Dubs, you still got the lead, and we are running out of questions. 7 out of 10. What current Lightning player is the nephew of former NFL and University of Miami quarterback Steve Walsh? This is definitely a tough one. I definitely did not know this one, but I just saw it randomly somewhere. You got Ross Colton, Ryan McDonough, Pat Maroon, or Zach Bogosian. Really random question, but this is random bolts trivia. So what'd you expect?
Is it McDonough?
It is McDonough. So 3 got it right. Let's see who it was. Let's see who's moving up. And it looks like Mikey Dubs got it right. So he maintains the lead, going with 2 questions left.
Tight race in the top 3, though. Looks like it's still anybody's game.
Who's the Lightning's only player sitting at a 0 for the plus-minus statistic this season? Somebody's at a 0 right now. Who is it? Schuster, Ruda, Radish, or Colton? Darren Radish.
Did you intentionally make Schuster the traffic cone?
It is Ross Colton. Looks like the majority or most of you guys got that run right. Yes, he is sitting at a 0 plus-minus right now. We're coming down to the wire here. Mikey Dubs in the lead the whole way, but GV is coming on strong. Question 9, 2 questions left. Which duo scored the fastest 2 goals in Tampa Bay Lightning history? Corey Perry and Eric Chernak, Anderchuk and Modine, Hedman and Cooch, or LeCavier and Andre Waugh? I just like to bring up Andre Waugh in every episode we can.
Yes, that guy does not get enough love, man.
I know.
Hilarious.
How do we get
dude.
him as a guest?
Dude, he's hilarious. That's
it
right.
It was Corey Perry and Chernak. That was this season, obviously. It just happened.
Ago.
5 seconds. 5
seconds.
seconds.
Ago.
Yeah. Was not
is anybody else watching this season, or is it just us?
Yeah, you got 3 people that got it right. I mean, you really kind of think Hedman and Cooch when you see this, something like that, but no, not the obvious this time. Perry and Chernak. Last one. Oh, we've got a new leader, but we've got 1 question left.
1 question left.
GV, can he hold the lead? Are you ready for
Mikey
the final
Dubs
question?
come back and
it's
win
like the
this.
most suspense we've had on the show ever.
In
The
years.
last question. Jan Ruda's
Whoa.
native country is the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Canada, or Belarus?
Clearly Canada.
Yeah.
The final question.
I
I see Kim. Kim, it sounds like you're on some sort of delay or something. I am sorry about that.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic for the win. 4 people got it right. But who did get it right
first?
Let's
Who
see
got
the
it first?
podium. 3rd place wins nothing. Steven, you win a pat on the back for 3rd place. 5 out of 10.
And it is
Mikey,
the
second.
GV
The winner
in.
coming from behind.
The last
GV.
2 questions.
I don't know who that is, so make sure you shoot us a message on Twitter, Facebook. I don't think you can message us on YouTube. So find us on one of those. We'll talk about you getting your swag that we have. I'll let you know what your options are again. So GV, make sure you reach out to us. Let us know.
And Shooter, if you see over here, not only Kim wasn't the only one that looked like Matt. By the way, I said all 4 was also having issues. So maybe we add a little bit of time next week when we do it, if we can extend the amount of time they have to answer.
Yes,
that might make it a little more tedious for those that are watching and aren't playing, but
you'll
want to
still
make
have
sure
a disadvantage because it's like first to answer.
There it is. There's GV.
Yeah, Gabe, you got you're YouTube. Yeah, send us a message on Twitter. We'll make sure
That's
we get
true.
back to you. Nice job. Come from behind. I feel bad for Mikey Dubs, who's in the lead the whole time until the
Yeah,
second
he
last
was.
question. But hey, you got to get them all. You got to get them all.
Just like Pokemon.
All right, that was fun. Sorry for the folks that had some technical difficulties. I think, usually it's your internet in that case, but we'll try to get that sorted out because I know Kimberly is going to be in the competition next week. So we'll try to figure something out. Like Stash said, maybe we can extend the time a little bit. But this was a practice run. It's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it again. We'll do it again next week, but just for
yeah.
ladies. All right, we've got about 30 minutes till the puck drops, probably around 10:39 p.m. Anything
Eastern
else
Standard.
you guys want to talk about? I mean, we pretty much covered it all so far. We talked about some of the things to look for in the game. We talked about Stammer.
How about
the other games?
I'm curious. We kind of talked about this at the beginning of the season, and now here we are. Scully mentioned it early on. It's game 41. Halfway through the season here, right? Now we're back to the traditional season. I was talking about this earlier at the beginning of the season, how it's going to take the Lightning so long to get their skates back under them after having played back-to-back seasons in the Cup, COVID, everything else. Now here we are. We're in the middle of a regular feeling season. Looks like they're going to get all the games in with this break and everything. How do you think that this benefits the Lightning now that we're back to a full 82 game season? Or do you think it benefits maybe some other teams and gives them a chance to maybe get hot in the second half of the season that they maybe didn't have in shortened seasons the last couple of years?
To me, I think things are trending in the Lightning's favor right now, especially when you consider things that maybe a lot of people aren't considering, where you have Carolina, who started and continues to be a really hot team. You could say the same about Florida, even though they've been a little bit more streaky. But can they keep that up for another 40 plus games and into the playoffs? When a team like ours, it kind of feels like we're just starting to hit our stride and we've got our stars back. And it seems like things are just starting to align. And we kind of talked about earlier that the Olympic break is a huge benefit, not having 10 players playing a lot of games when we could use that rest to get ready for a long playoff run. So I feel like it's all kind of coming together for the Bolts, and not just the things I mentioned, but also the lines that they're running. I know they're going to probably switch it up tonight again with Palat possibly being out and having Perry move up to that first line, which he totally deserves. But having that identity of this third line and the fourth line that has kind of come through in the first half of the season, where, everyone on this team knows what their role is and what's expected to them. So to me, it's all kind of coming together. The question for some of these other teams, specifically, in the East with us, is can they keep it together? Because we know the Bolts can if we can stay healthy, and we know we've got the best goalie in the league. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that can they keep, like Florida, can they keep up that goal differential plus 47? Is that something that's going to keep up? Is that a sign of a team that's indicative of a team that's actually playing really good hockey and they're not giving up chances as much? Or does that remind you maybe of the Lightning team back in 19 when we were just out shooting everybody? And sure, we were putting up 5 or 7 goals a game, but giving up 3 or 4. You know what I mean? So it's just because that's a plus 47, you know what I mean? Like, that's my question. I think coming into the season, it was going to be beneficial for the Lightning in the long run to get back to a whole 82 game season. And I agree with you, Shooter. I think we're seeing that. We're seeing this team now finally being like, man, this is almost where they started getting into playoff mode the last 2 seasons, right? Now it's just halfway through, and they're able to they don't have to go full mental, like all the way in to the playoff mode. Now they can just go, okay, now we can really fine tune our game. Now, if we can kind of battle through these injuries and keep most of our top 6 guys, top 9 guys healthy all the time, now you can really start seeing this team gel. You're going to see that playoff or the special teams, power play, penalty kill really, really find its rhythm. The PK has been pretty solid all season. It's suffered here and there, depending on Cherney and a couple other guys. But the power play is what really needs to be honed in. And if you're going to give the Lightning another 41 games before the playoffs to figure out their power play, I'd be pretty scared too.
But I still don't think that they are still at their gelling point. You get Kucherov back, and then you lose Palat. I mean,
exactly
this team, and then we see something we didn't talk about earlier. They put Jamal Smith on waivers today, which is for him to go to Syracuse, which means he's going to be ready. So is Jamal Smith going to end up coming up to this team? Because going into the beginning of the season, he was going to be projected as a starter.
Yeah.
And then he had that injury that we
injured in
still
Radish
really don't know about.
for Radish and Kachuk, right?
Right.
They've got more time.
So
but I thought Colton and Smith were playing really good hockey together last season, and Smith and Joseph had some.
Pernak is not on the ice for warmups.
Oh, damn.
Out.
Yeah.
Palat?
Palat is not either.
Ruda is, though.
Ruda is. Schuster is. No Chernak, Palat, and warmups. They were considered doubtful. Looks like Foot is with Hedman. McDonough with Sergachev. That's the only thing so far I've seen. Sorry, I know we were sitting there talking about this, that I just don't think we've seen this team, a healthy team yet. Between COVID and the injuries, we haven't seen the final product that's going to be on that ice come playoff time. And the future looks good, with not just the young guys, but you start getting these veterans back on their game and playing together. Kucherov looks like he didn't lose a step. We talked about that with JP.
I mean, if that third line is looking as good as it is now, right? I mean, Perry's up on that first line right now because Pally's gone. But if that third line is looking this good now, just imagine what they're going to be like come playoff time and what kind of matchups they're going to see. Because we've talked about it multiple times in the last two playoff runs. We're not the only ones to say it, and almost any professional analyst will say it. The third line is what wins in the playoffs. It's all about that third line matchup, right? Because once you get to playoffs, sure, you're probably going to see almost every team has their top two lines are both pretty much really
the
good.
third line won us 2 Stanley Cups these last 2 seasons.
Exactly. And I think that we're poised to see another, maybe even more dominant third line come into this playoffs with another 41 games to still get under their belt to play together.
Even the veteran that Corey Perry is, I think he's finally coming into his own as a Lightning. You see him parked in front of that net with his stick waiting to tap things in. I mean, last game was a good example. His stick got lifted there at the last minute, or he got jammed up and couldn't hit it in. But he's been doing that. He's been getting open right there in the front of the net, waiting to be able to just hit it in.
Well, I think there's a certain relaxation he's allowed to play with here. You know, the last 2 years, I feel like he's been brought into those two teams to be that veteran presence, and he won, and now it's on him to blah blah. He got to come here and just relax and be Corey Perry and be Maroon's buddy, and just like there's no pressure on him when he came here. None. There was no pressure on him. I guarantee in that locker room, no pressure from coaches. You just come in and you do your thing, and you'll figure out what you need to do. And it's clear. It's been really refreshing to see the way he's fit into this team and the way he's kind of gone back to his early days and his mentality and the way he played before he kind of had that chip on his shoulder out in Anaheim and started getting some of that reputation for some of those more dirty plays, you know?
He said he came here to win the Stanley Cup. When all the players got to see their names, we didn't talk about that, but the players finally got to see their name. The fans got to see it before them. They finally got to see their names on the cup. And he said, just seeing everybody else standing there, looking at their names on the cup. Yeah, his name's on there from before, but Pat Maroon's on there how many times? So he wants to be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so he's willing to do what he needs to do and the role he needs to play.
Well, and I saw some people on Facebook the other day too, just since we got a few extra minutes here, really trashing Pat Maroon coming back from that Marshawn situation where they were kind of jawing at each other, you know what I mean? And he said something about having 3 cups, and a lot of fans were out there trying to shit on him, saying that's a Bush League move, and oh, you're barely contributed, this and that. And I'm like, look, clearly, A, you're not hockey fans, and you didn't actually watch the playoffs the last couple of seasons, not just here, but in St. Louis. And B, clearly, you're not listening to the players in the locker room and the coaches on the teams that he's played on, because there's so many intangibles when it comes to this game. And Pat Maroon basically brings all those. And you're seeing Corey Perry come in with that same thing, but also his goal scoring is starting to come back. So, it's really interesting to see the effect that these guys have had. And I think that they're going to be foundational pieces, just as important as guys like Kucherov and Point and Vasilevsky and Hedman in this whole dynasty conversation that we're talking about with the Bolts, because on a bargain that these guys are playing for and still finding a role in this team, I could see them still playing a couple more seasons here still, and still producing and being part of a dynasty that I think I'm still excited to see being in the middle of. Like, we're not at the end of this thing. You know what I mean? I think we're still in the middle of it.
Yeah. So we got 2 postseasons to put the official dynasty label on it.
Right.
I'll play, I guess, a little bit of devil's advocate on like what maybe outside looking in, what people I've heard or seen saying about the Lightning. One, you mentioned with the power play being kind of middle of the road right now is not going to cut it, but that is a season without Cooch, or half season without Cooch, half of that half season without Point. So 40 games to figure it out. I think that will be all right with. The other thing that worries me a little bit is we do lose to better teams. In the past, I think we mentioned this last week. In the past, we would lose to like a Florida Panther team that sucked, right? And we're like, what the hell happened? Or we lose to the Senators when the Senators are in last place. And we beat the good teams. This
Boston,
a hot Boston team can come in and they beat us pretty good the other night. Some lucky bounces a couple weeks ago. The other teams that we've lost to are
Rangers,
the good teams in the East, and those are the teams that we have to beat to defend this cup. So that's what I'm going to be looking for the second half of the season is power play. Can we beat good teams? The Kings, we should beat. The Kings are actually in second in their division, by the way. Listen to this. They're in second in the Pacific with 45 points. The Lightning have 57 points.
Yeah.
And we're tied or maybe in first place in our division with extra games played. So that's how lopsided it is right now with the East versus West. And that's going to hurt the Lightning. They're going to have the easiest game they might play in the playoffs, or the easiest series might be the Stanley Cup Finals. But they got to get there first. And they're not really beating the Floridas. I don't think. I think we beat Florida once.
We haven't really talked about it this year. They've lost back-to-back games multiple times, and they lost 3 in a row this year. So
it's not good.
That's something that they went 2 years without losing back-to-back games. 2 seasons.
Eric Carlson's reporting only 4 D-men on ice for warm-ups.
Really?
But I see the Lightning Gabby put out the Lightning walk down the tunnel, and Schuster's in the walk. So where he's not on the ice, I'm not sure. But
if Ruda and Cernak are out, that's 4. Oh well, Sergachev, or not Sergachev. Sergachev.
So you got Foote, Sergachev, Hedman, McDonough, and then I saw Schuster. So
Schuster's definitely should be playing. That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, something to definitely keep an eye on if we're going shorthanded. Maybe we're going with a 5D this game. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. There was one other thing I was going to mention that I think is important too, and I think if the Lightning make a move, this might be it. That the bottom 6 forwards, they could use some speed. Right. So Matty Joseph, fastest skater in that bottom 6 right now, and he might be in the top 6 by the end of the season. But I feel like that school bus line is slow. I know that's not going to change, but I feel like if they were going to add a player offensively, it could be bottom 6 and just like get a guy that just got the speed, because I feel like sometimes those guys are a little bit slow. So those are like the 3 concerns for me, and there could be much worse concerns that we could be talking about.
Yeah. Well, I think tonight goes to show that if there's one place that the Lightning continue to be a little bit thin at the last couple seasons, it is the blue line.
It looks like the Lightning are playing 16 players.
Wow.
Okay. What happened? Where's the taxi squad?
That's COVID. None of these are COVID.
Yeah.
That's something. Okay.
Looks like Lightning are playing only 16 players according to Joe Smith tonight due to injuries and capped. Chernak, Ruda, Palat all been banged up. Bogosian out 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow. And yeah, Eric just tweeted, it appears the Lightning will be playing short 2 defensemen tonight.
Wow.
Ruda's not in warmups.
They had Walcott filling in with Schuster today, but or yesterday morning in practice, but apparently they're not going to play Schuster or Walcott.
Wow.
Or Walcott on offense, maybe.
Something's up. That is not normal,
weird.
And you hate to see these guys playing that many extra minutes on defense,
especially at the beginning of a 3-game Western road trip.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this must be something that was kind of unexpected. They can hopefully always bring up some people for the rest of the trip. All right. Well, here's the deal. If anyone wants to join us, we will probably be watching together on our private post-game show.
Separately together.
Right here. We'll probably be watching the first period only together. I think we're going to stay up till 2 a.m. together or whatever.
Disappointed my couch didn't come today.
So I'm going to put the link on here if anyone wants to join us and chop it up for the first period, and we'll kind of all be watching the game, hopefully in sync. Although Thomas Schooley likes to, the voyeurist that he is, he likes to like be 10 seconds ahead and just watch our reactions when something happens.
Steal our joy.
We do not broadcast the post-game show, so it's basically you sitting up.
You
here
watch
talking
while we watch
with us
while we talk at the same time.
But yeah, it's been a marathon. We're almost at 2 hours.
Twitter's losing it.
It's been a long time since we've
Twitter's losing its damn mind.
I know. I see it on my other screen. I'll pull it up for the post game.
Let's shout out the Bucks. Go Bucks.
Hey,
that's
right. Talk about back to back.
I said it earlier. This is the first LA team Tampa beats this week. Second will be on Sunday at Raymond James Stadium.
Ooh, man, I wish I had tickets to that game.
Yeah, you guys should send us your tickets to the Bucks game. All right. Well, you guys are free to join us with that link. I'll post it on Twitter as well. Until then, you got any other breaking news, Thomas Schooley?
No, I haven't seen nothing else right here.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Huge competition for the ladies. There's no game. We'll be live probably at 8:30. So we'll see you then.
Get some karaoke in.
This has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it.